We haven't done one of these in a while. Remember how?
No. I don't even remember how we open, how we start. I guess we just jump into it. So that's what we're doing. Are we live?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll take a look at the tomato room first, which really isn't tomato room anymore.
Yeah.
It has evolved into the fruit tomato flower room.
Well, you're leaving out the big reveal. Is that you had decided to transition from vegetables to flowers?
Right, right, right. I had,
Moles.
pardon me, moles, the bane of my existence in the garden. They are, look at this. Yeah.
Fight your way through, Mom.
Yeah. Yes. Last year's vegetables were disappointing as far as insects go. I
And
didn't really have too much disease, but insects were just horrible. And since I don't want to use any sprays or chemicals, they just decimated everything.
and the weather was bad, so the flavors were horrible. And every tomato grower around here had flavorless tomatoes.
Right. The tomatoes were just yuck. Just yuck. And I got very tired. My tomatoes grew, this ceiling is over 7 feet, and my tomatoes grew way over 7 feet up above, and
Several times we cut them back, and they still kept going.
yeah, so they were useless. So this year I'm switching over to, I've been investigating it for the past year and taking notes. I'm going to grow dwarf tomatoes, which supposedly will grow no more than 4 feet, maybe 4.5 feet, which, since my pots are roughly 18 inches, 20 inches tall, will still make the tomatoes about yay high, but that at least should be manageable.
Right.
And the tomato, even though the plants are called dwarf, the tomatoes are supposed to be relatively, that helicopter isn't helping.
Why don't you wait till they're done?
Okay. The dwarf tomatoes shouldn't grow much higher than this. And the tomatoes supposedly are about the same size as regular determinate or indeterminate tomatoes. So it's another experiment this year, and we'll see how it goes. I think I have 5 or 6 types that I'm trying out, and I'm growing 4 cherry tomatoes.
Okay.
And they will be outside the tomato room. I'll use them for shade over the flower beds on the archways. If the squirrels take some, that should be okay. You know, that's the transition. And also, this year, I decided to try growing strawberries. And Eric built some tables for me so that the strawberries are waist high, so I don't have to bend over and tend them. So, we'll take you down here. Now, these were purchased last August, I think.
I don't know.
Bare root from a company in North Carolina, and I got 2 different kinds. I planted them indoors and then moved them out here, and they're doing extremely well. We have gone down to 32 degrees, 28 degrees one night.
Slightly below freezing.
Yeah. And they're doing extremely well. They're sending out lots of runners. I have one plant over there that actually has 3 flowers on it, which I keep telling it not to waste energy flowering just yet, but it's not listening.
So explain why you got staggered empty pot, empty pot type of thing. What's your plan?
Okay, from what I read, strawberries are expendable. They are not long-lasting perennial plants. So what a lot of people do is grow them one year, take the runners and put them let them root, and they will keep the babies and discard the mother plant. Some people do that every year. Some people go 2 or 3 years. So since I'm not growing in a bed, I had to figure out some other way to accommodate that practice. And so I've got a pot with a plant, an empty pot, pot with a plant, and I staggered that. You can see this is a runner that has rooted over here from this pot, from this mother. There's another one here that has rooted. There's another one in here that's rooted, so I'll have to attend to that. But the idea, I have to put little markers in these mother pots so that next year I know which one's the mother, which one is the runner plant. But they're doing very well, sending out runners. They obviously like the soil. They're adapting to the weather.
We had a couple of caterpillars.
Yes, we did. Some kind of cutworm, a grayish black, not attractive looking caterpillar. So, but the plants themselves are doing really, really well. I'm surprised. These 2 pots are filled with ranunculus, something new for me, and unfortunately I planted them a little too early in the season. You're supposed to plant them in the fall, and I really should have planted them later. So we'll see what happens to them.
Now this whole row, this is all part of your foray into flowers for flower bouquets.
Right, right.
This is the new endeavor.
Right. These plants, all of these plants are first-time growers for me. These are stock, which I started from seed, put them out. They have been living out here quite happily during the winter.
So stock is a flower?
Yes, it's a scented flower. This is scabiosa. Same thing. I planted them the same time as the stock. And they're doing very well, except for the ones that got attacked by the same cutworm or caterpillar that attacked the strawberries. Okay, and over here we have some more scabiosa. Some are doing worse than others because they were hit by the caterpillars.
No, these were little flea beetle thingies, weren't they?
Well, the caterpillars and some kind of aphid, or might even have been a flea beetle. I don't know, but they
got attacked.
Really did a job. Yeah. So I don't know if they'll survive the winter or not. I have some more seeds in the house. I will start them up. Here I have planted some lisianthus. Come over here. This is easier to move. Teensy, 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 tiny little plants. These things you have to plant like 3 months before you transplant them outside. So this is a whole new experience. My timing is not the best on them, so we'll see what happens.
And you just have these wire racks on to keep the squirrels out.
Yes.
Because you have a resident squirrel who loves to follow you in the garden and
yes.
dig up after whatever you plant down.
Yes, as soon as I touch something, I come out the next day, he's dug it up. These are African daisies. Beautiful big white flowers with colored centers. They're having a little tough time with the winter cold. I misread the packet. They really shouldn't be out here.
No. Okay. I was going to ask if it was too soon for them to be out.
Yes, by the name African daisy,
yeah,
they like the heat. So I do have more seeds that I will plant. But yeah, I made a mistake in reading the back of the seed packet. So yeah, I've done that a couple times. Moles again. Again, some more plants that I put out. These are sweet peas, which again, I made the mistake. I planted them at the wrong time. I've been doing a lot of that lately. So,
so these are flowers, not for eating? Peas?
Right. These are sweet peas. These are flowers.
Okay.
Not edibles. These are some carnations. Uh, French carnations, they grow about 3 feet tall. Again, new to me. These are all snapdragons, Chantilly snapdragons. I have many more snapdragons, but they're in the seedling stage in the garage and in the house. So one thing that I decided to do, since these are all new plantings, in these very large pots, tomatoes need that entire pot full of soil. Roses, same thing. Annual flowers, no, they don't. I'm kind of cheating and filling up these big pots part way with any kind of glass or plastic bottles and some compostable paper bags to take up some space, because since I'm buying organic soil by the bag, that mounts up. So I'm filling the pots maybe halfway, which will still give the flowers about yay much for their root system, which is more than enough. These are my rose bushes. They don't look like much right now.
But you have to cut them back later.
Right. But there's a couple of them are trying very hard to continue flowering. So
But this guy's been like this for a week.
yes.
It's just too cold to open up.
Right, right. It's been too cold and we haven't had any warm sun. I just don't have the heart to cut them down yet, so I'm gonna wait a little longer. This is a foxtail fern. This I'm just in love with. I just love the look of this.
You like touching it.
Yes, I do. I do.
This was the whole basil pepper plantation you had going on.
Right, right, right.
And the the cucumber teepee that just never manifested anything.
Right, except squash bugs and disease. So I'm not growing. I fought with myself. I still have seeds from last year. I'm not doing cucumbers or squash or zucchini or melons, because they all got decimated by squash bugs. And I planted them 4 different times last year.
In different places.
In different places, different pots, different soil. It made no difference. The squash bugs found them. They won. I give up this year. I just can't bring myself to do that.
Your camellia's flowering.
Yes. Yes. It's just starting. I love this camellia because it's actually fragrant. It has a scent to it.
Most camellias don't?
Right.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, it's a fairly new cultivar. But it has a lot of buds on it. So it obviously likes this spot. So I guess I'm not going to move it for a while. I'm going to do the rest of my plantings around it. I just picked up some more roses yesterday and some fruit bushes. 2 blueberry, a thornless raspberry, and a thornless blackberry, I think.
I don't remember.
They will go in the tomato room so the squirrels and birds do not eat it. The fruit has to go in the tomato room to keep them safe from squirrels and birds. And we can go take a look at seedlings. We are here in the garage in my 4-foot by 6-foot seedling start area. These are all lisianthus. As you can see, now they are about 4 weeks old. And you can tell how slow they are to grow. Oh, it's incredible.
You have a thing against slow starting seeds.
Yeah, I do. These are all lisianthus. They are really a hassle because you have to keep them alive for 3 months before you can put them outside. Which is why many of the pro farmers buy plugs in the spring. And then all they have to do is plop them in the ground. And I would do that, except that that's a more expensive way to go. until I know for sure that Lisianthus will do well for me in the garden in this climate, I figured I'd start by seeds. But it's a tough job to keep these things alive and going. These are new seeds. Nothing has started yet.
What are these?
Are they? Snapdragons. Snapdragons. All three of these are snapdragons. It's been a week. Nothing has germinated yet. So,
How long does it take?
a couple of weeks. Gardening like this requires a lot of patience. And I'm not known for my patience.
No.
These are a couple rose cuttings that I started.
But you did a lot more than that. But
Oh,
those
yes,
are the
like
ones
maybe
that,
30.
yeah.
And I've got 3. So, yeah. I have tried every which way to propagate roses. I have yet to find a successful way for me.
Well, these are successful, but they're all from the same plant.
Right.
And they were all done using different methods.
Yes.
So it's almost as if the methods that you've tried don't work, but this particular rose loves to be cloned no matter what method you use.
Right. That's true. That's true. But it's only one rose.
I know. Right.
So, that's not really helping me as far as propagation goes.
Not really, no.
Oh.
So it's a mystery why this rose you have no problem propagating,
Right,
but
right.
none of the others
This
work.
one I propagated in perlite. This one is in potting soil.
And we put wax on the tips.
And I read somewhere that putting wax on the tips will prevent aspiration from the plant. It will keep the moisture in the plant. It seems to be doing fine, but still, it's number one rose. It's my mystery rose that I have outside. I've had that rose over 10 years. I've lost the tag on it, so I really don't even know the name of it. It's a very old rose. I think these are Lisianthus because I lost my tag.
Wait, doesn't that say
No. That was scabiosa. That was for this one little block here.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is another thing that if you're going to soil block, I have learned the hard way, only do one type or variety of plant to a tray. Do not mix them because you will regret it. You will.
Especially for those that are labeling impaired.
Yes. Yes, labeling impaired. Good, Eric. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, some of these are on heat mats and some are not, right?
Right. The ones on the heat mats, see if we can lift it up. See, people can see. That's keeping the soil warm so that the seeds will germinate more easily.
And you need more heat mats.
Yes, I do. I have one here and I have one upstairs. This one has a light over it. The other one is underneath a table, so it's dark. And some seeds require light to germinate, some seeds do not. So I've been splitting mine, some upstairs, some down here. Unfortunately, at the moment, I have a lot of seeds that require light while they're germinating. So they're sitting upstairs in their packets, just waiting for these babies to germinate so then I can move them up and put new trays down there.
So you were trying to transition from vegetables to flowers because you thought vegetables were too hard to deal with and flowers have their own set of problems and issues to deal with.
There is no easy way. There is no easy way. But most of what I'm growing this year for bouquets are new to me plants.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on very uncertain ground with trying all these things out because it's not that I'm working blindly, I've taken a lot of notes and done a lot of reading and bought a lot of books, but you still have that disconnect when you actually start to put seeds in trays and try and get them to emerge.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not for the faint of heart. It is not Lisianthus and snapdragons, especially Lisianthus, especially, is not for impatient people because I'm having a really tough time being patient with them.
Here's hoping 2021 will just be a bounty of blossoms.
Oh, I sure hope so.